from the vault, high atop the pastoral center of the Diocese of Camden, you're listening to Talking Catholic.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Talking Catholic. I'm Jen Morrow, and with me today is Mike Walsh. Did you like that pep?
What's up? No, just kidding. I was reminding Jen that she's got to bring a little energy to the podcast because, I don't know, it's actually, I'm getting over a cold. We had a lot of banked episodes the last couple of weeks because I've been ill. So I would like to apologize to our listeners for so much Mike Bress at one time because that's 2 weeks in a row. But he did a great job. They were really good episodes.
He did do a good job.
Yeah. I mean, Marianella did a great job as well as his co-host. But, sometimes Mike, you're not sure what you're going to get with him.
Oh, my goodness.
He did great episodes. He deserves credit.
I think that why we also jumped off with Mike is because he organized both of them, right? So we were like, woo, thanks, Mike, for organizing two of them right off the bat.
Yeah, that's right. What a way to start 2025.
That's right. In March.
That's what I'm saying. No, Mike actually does a really good job with the podcasts because I think he has some fun with it. So he enjoys being the co-host of it. And actually, he's brought a lot of really interesting guests. The one he had with the friend of the Philly Fanatic and the co-author of Field of Love, that was a great episode. So Mike's bringing a lot of interesting stuff. As a matter of fact, I think we need to raise our game.
Oh, no.
Mike's doing too good. There's actually a lot of national people I want to come bring on that we've been so inundated in the month of March. It's now April, of course, but we were so inundated in the month of March with the transition from the 8th Bishop of Camden to the 9th Bishop of Camden. I was a little in the woods because of that. Mm-hmm. Pleasantly so, happily so. But now that I've realized that I can feel my brain percolating as there are new options that come forward, and I'm excited about that.
New ideas.
And now I feel like I'm in competition with Mike Bress.
What? No.
Well, I mean, not really, but I mean, I want to make sure that my guests are as high-end as his guests.
You do like a good competition.
I do like a good competition.
We had a fun competition in the office this week.
We did?
Yeah.
What did we do?
It was sourpuss.
My colleagues, the day after... I might
April
say, wisely, the day after April Fool's, attempted to get me with something. The beloved John Kalitz he's like, hey Mike, we're gonna do this thing called what was it, lemon taste?
He called it sourpuss. He's like sourpuss at 10:30. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Basically, we're all gonna basically put slices of lemons on our mouth and see how long we can hold it. And I'm like, I'm half. It was like 10:30 in the morning. I'm not really paying attention. I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds like fun.
Let's do it. So Team building.
Yeah, exactly. So we go downstairs. He gives us all lemon slices. I put it in my mouth. I'm like, and I was like, it wasn't impacting me the way I thought it was going to impact me. I was expecting a ton of sourness to it. And I saw him open up the bag. So I knew we hadn't doctored him or anything like that. And I'm doing it. And then we're all doing it. And then none of us sort of do anything.
Right.
And he cuts up another lemon and gives it all to us. And I put it in. And we're not like another 30 seconds. And finally I'm like, all right, I'm bored. I'm done. I'm out of here. So I take it out of my mouth and I throw it away. And everybody starts laughing at me. And like, well, you explained the other half, because I actually wasn't there for that.
Yeah, so the other half was that John had come in like the day or two before, and he had showed us all these, it's like a little dissolvable thing that you put in your mouth. But what it does is if you hold it in your mouth and let it dissolve, it actually, so if you put something tart in your mouth like a lemon, it actually will taste more like candy.
At least on a miracle berry.
Yeah, so it won't, like if you put the lemon in your mouth, you won't immediately want to spit it out because it actually just tastes like candy. It turns into like pure sugar. Mm-hmm. And that's what it did. So we had all taken that so that we could win the sourpuss contest. And then...
Except for me, because the prank was on me.
Right, the prank was on you.
But it was a dud batch of lemons, unfortunately.
I don't know about that, but you did spit it out. I don't know if you spit it out of boredom.
No, I really did.
You looked uncomfortable.
No, I wasn't. It was just like, I was waiting for something to happen. I was like, okay, if none of us are going to spit it out, I'm done. I got work to do, so I'm out.
Either way, you were the first one to do it, so we still feel like we won.
No, actually, I feel like we won. I won. And I'll tell you what, no. The reason why I felt like I won had nothing to do with the lemons. I was the only one not dumb enough to put something in my mouth, some weird pill that John Kalin suggested we all put in. You probably are starting the process of turning into mutants at
That's
this point.
probably true.
Whereas I will say a humble human.
I also feel like we all won because you were with another director at the time in a meeting,
right,
and
yeah.
you were like, I have to stop this meeting. I have something to do with my team. And I'm sure the person thought it was important, and it was important because it was team building sourpuss competition.
And it served another function, which was, while I was more than happy to spend time with this director, it got me out of a meeting. So once again, my team actually got to save me a little bit. So it was nice. It was good. Everything worked out for me in the end.
Yes. When I got home from work, my husband was like, "How was deadline?" I'm like, "Oh, it went really well, actually. We even had time for a sourpuss competition." He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I don't know. It just kind of got made up today, but this is how it worked."
When you grow gills, you'll know that I'm the winner. However, the irony is we're starting with, for some reason, telling that story.
Jocularity.
When in reality, actually, it does dovetail.
That's what I was
into
going to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had a special visitor with us in the communications department and the Catholic Star Herald this week. Our newly minted 9th Bishop of Camden, Bishop Joseph A. Williams, joined us for lunch and a tour and a little conversation time with all of us, and then a meeting with me afterwards. And it was, as I often like to say, a delight.
It was.
It was. He was an absolute delight. He commented to me afterwards when we were in a private meeting together how much he was truly impressed by our camaraderie, our sense of humor, our spirituality, our dedication. He even said to me, he's like, "Mike, you guys are everywhere. Aren't you worried about burning the candle at both ends?" And I was like, "No, that's a job. I'm cool with that." But it was really great. Did you get the impression that the staff enjoyed their time with Bishop
Absolutely.
Williams?
It was every single part of the department. So in addition to the communications, Mike's team, immediate team, it was the Catholic Star Herald staff, from the advertisers to the reporters to the designers. And we all had lunch together, and we were like in a big U.
And if you're wondering what you have for lunch with a bishop, you have Jewish deli food.
It was really good.
It was great.
I'd never been there. That was awesome.
Thank you to the Kibitz Room for being not the venue, but the provider of our food.
The unofficial sponsor of our luncheon. The
deli sandwiches were outstanding. I had a tuna on a challah roll, and then the traditional turkey on rye bread. I did not have any of the matzo ball soup. You said it was good, right? The matzo ball soup
was great because I'd never had that, so I wanted to try it. And I had the pastrami because I love pastrami,
yeah, right.
and that's kind of a treat. So, and oddly enough, I had been to an interfaith Seder the day before. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I got two days back to back.
2 Jewish meals back to
and
back?
I've never had one Jewish meal in my life. So I was pretty excited.
Wait,
yeah.
You've never been to a Seder?
Mm-mm.
And you've never been to a Jewish deli?
Not in the East Coast, no.
Well, any Jewish deli anywhere doesn't count because
right. So
well,
no.
Maybe there's a couple in LA that are pretty good, but wow.
I mean, I've had a pastrami sandwich,
yeah.
but I haven't had a pastrami sandwich
from a true Jewish deli
ever.
Wow.
So it was pretty awesome. 2 days of matzah, so that was pretty cool. Actually, I really liked it.
Yeah, we have to give a lot of credit to Neil Cullen, our advertising director, who I tasked with putting that together, and he never fails. He puts together a good spread. So good job, Neil. And it was a really good time, and he toured our spaces. And if you're wondering what Bishop Williams is like, first of all, before I get to that, he has agreed to come on the podcast. So we're very excited about that. So hopefully in the near future, he's got a very busy schedule, but he has promised to come on and give us a solid 54 and a half minutes. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let my co-hosts fight it out to see who gets the honor of co-hosting with me for that episode. Who knows? Maybe I'll bring all of them on. We'll just attack them on Moss.
A hostful
with Bishop Williams.
I like that.
But
yes, it was a great tour. And he met all the staff, and he asked every single staff member questions, and they asked him questions, and then there was a lot of laughter because.
And it wasn't a 2-minute. He was with each person almost 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was just a good conversation because he's got a big family.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about before. So, and he's talked about. So there was something to relate with almost every person on the staff. And then to go back to the jocularity, he saw the good nature that we have, and the pranks that we play on each other, the evidence which is still around. So he was like, "What's going on here?" Like, for instance, there is a bathroom sign on my door because John Kalitz last week put a bathroom sign on my door and closed the door as if my office is a bathroom. So I can't get it off. I tried, and I realized the only way this is coming off is with like a hair blower or something. So I didn't have enough time to pull that off. So I just stuck like an occupied vacancy sign underneath that to double down on it. And Bishop's like, "So what's going on here?"
And then he looked at the back of John Kalis's door, which is wallpapered in photoshopped photos of myself, looking like Dr. Phil.
Yep.
So that's a scary look. But yes, to your point, there are images all over the place of stuff like that.
But
most of it because of John Kalis.
And he got a good kick out of it. And I mean, how can you not when you're one of 9? And I'm sure you were picking on each other all the time as kids. So he had a good time. We had a great time. We were honored to have him. So thank you, Bishop.
We had the honor of being the first secretariat to dine with him, and so which can only mean that it's downhill from here.
Yeah, we set the bar high.
Yeah, seriously. I had other secretaries reaching out to me and asking me what we did, and I told them, I said, do what we did, but it won't be as good. Matter of fact, you gave him a custom bookmark to remember it with a prayer that was said before our meal.
There's a prayer to St. Francis de Sales, since he's one of the patron saints of journalists. Yeah. So, something to remember us by, and his diocesan newspaper.
And I know for a fact he took it with him, so, I don't know if he trashed it once he got into his office, but I know it left with him, so that was nice.
I doubt he trashes anything, actually, that somebody gives him. He's so
probably
thoughtful.
Doesn't. He is very thoughtful.
Yeah.
So it was great. So our hope is that you will hear him in the not too distant future, and there, who knows, there might even be, we don't know, there might be a dedicated Bishop Williams podcast someday or video series. He seems very open to some new ideas. So you should be on the lookout for Bishop Williams content in the near and distant future.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Now, speaking of one of those secretariats that just couldn't match our level, not just kidding. Well, kind of true.
Don't even.
We actually have a member from another secretariat with us today, and we wanted to bring her on because she is midway through one of the largest annual initiatives in the diocese. She also happens to be one of the most important people in the diocese, one that can't be easily replaced, and quite frankly, I wouldn't want to replace her with anybody that would show up, because she's the best.
She is the best.
She is the best, and I'd say that of past and former people in the diocese. You are the best. So with us today...
Flattery gets you everywhere, right?
With us today is Stacy Napolitano, who is the Director of Fundraising for Financial Development for the Diocese of Camden. How are you doing today?
Great.
It's wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, of course. No, thank you for coming. You, of course, had your lunch with Bishop Williams, along with the Secretariat for Temporal Services yesterday. How did your lunch go?
Oh, it was really nice. And we fall under the CFO, so Secretariat includes cemeteries, IT, HR, and development. And it was just really nice even to hear a little bit, Bishop Williams wanted us to introduce ourselves and talk a little bit how long we've been with the diocese. So it was really nice to hear about other people and what they do, and people you never see, within our own offices.
Yeah, your secretariat is spread over 4 buildings.
4 buildings, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even realize that until we started talking about it, because we're in the same building with development with Stacy's crew, but I didn't realize IT was in there with you too. So, yeah, that's fun.
So they're 10 minutes down the road.
Yep.
And then all of our cemeteries are strewn all over South Jersey. So it was great. It was. So were you with me? Yeah. Didn't we pop over there? I popped over. Oh no, I popped over there with somebody else. I popped over there with someone else.
You're replacing me for a pop-in?
Donna.
I confused you with Donna. Are you going to be upset that I confused you with Donna?
Not at all.
I didn't think so. I went over with Donna, Ottaviano, Britt just to see what it was like up there.
Yeah.
Because I was curious. It's like 35 people were going to be there. We were a tight 11.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was a really good setup.
We all on the 5th floor?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
So they had the beautiful view of downtown Philadelphia and the bridges. Okay, their view might have been a little bit better than ours. But
well, we have the view of the cathedral. I think
true, we did.
Bishop really enjoyed that, actually.
I think he did too.
Because he mentioned it.
Yes. We also have a view of the rectory for the for the cathedral. So, and all the priest bedroom windows, which is a little disturbing. But they keep the blinds drawn, so it's okay.
Yes.
So anyway. But this enormous initiative that you are working on is the South Jersey Catholic Ministries appeal, and we're very excited. You have a pretty lofty goal, and you're more than halfway there, almost halfway there.
Our goal is 7.4 million, and we're at 3 million As of this week.
Which is for something that started 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 6 weeks, you raised a pretty impressive $3 million. And that doesn't include the parishes down the shore yet. They don't kick off until the summertime, right?
Right. They don't start till Memorial Day.
So well
done. Nice job.
Yeah, we're moving along.
Can you insert that, like, applause? Can we do that round of applause thing?
Can I?
Yes.
Will I?
And it's really, we count on the parishes, the pastors, the parish staff, and volunteers. They're the ones who really make it happen.
Yeah. So. Matter of fact, to that point, you are no fool. You thank your voluntolds, don't you?
Yes. And that voluntold is accurate because some people say, well, Father told me or asked me, but I really have to do it. I can't say no to him. So. But
you actually do have an appreciation dinner later this year, right?
Yes, mid-June, June 18th, and we've done that the last several years down at Tomasello Winery in Hamilton.
Can't go wrong there.
Really nice. No, and I mean, you might think, oh, the wine, but the food is fantastic.
Yeah. No, it's for anyone who's wondering, wait, you're raising so much money, but you spend so much money. No, we get deals on all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yes, they give us a very good deal.
Yeah, we don't do anything where we're going to waste this very important money that people give us. So you needn't fret about that. But let's talk about the South Jersey Catholic Ministries appeal about itself. What in fact is it?
Well, it's an annual appeal, so typical of a regular fundraising appeal that a nonprofit might have. A letter goes out in the mail, but it's so much more than that because the pastors help promote it for us and talk about it at Mass, included in their bulletins. Parishioners, there's pledge cards that we mail out, but the pastors also provide. And then it funds not only initiatives at a parish level, but also ministries throughout the entire diocese, Catholic charities, hospital chaplaincy, vocations for priests and new seminarians and retired priests, care for them, Catholic schools. So there are a lot of ministries that are funded throughout the diocese. And then when a parish reaches goal, they get 10% of the income back. And anything over goal, we normally provide 75% back to the parishes, but this year they get a whopping 100% over goal. So that's a lot of initiative for the pastors to reach goal.
Mm-hmm. I would think so. Mm-hmm. So explain something to me. So I've been here 4 years, right? Roughly 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I always thought it was so forward thinking in the fact that you roll out the ministry's appeal in the two waves. You kind of alluded to it a second ago. Can you kind of explain like how it's rolled out and why it's rolled out in that way?
Yeah, it rolls out in February for many of the parishes. And then
on a special day,
on Super Bowl Sunday, which some say why that day, and Father Hughes, our Vicar General, has done some serious research and found that that is one of the most well attended days for people to go to church. So I don't know if they're praying for their bets.
Yes, that's exactly what they're praying for. But it's true. It's one of the biggest days of the year. It really is.
No idea. For Mass attendance.
For Mass attendance, yes. for a variety of reasons. Yeah. One, a lot of parishes do hoagie sales that week. There's also a lot of parishes that do fellowship donuts Super Bowl themed. Even though that you have to say big game, not Super Bowl, because that's trademarked. But
even though it's a different the spelling of the Super Bowl.
Oh, S-O-U-P-E-R.
S-O-U-P-E-R.
Yes, you can get away with Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. But so that because so many parishes do stuff, there's a lot of reason to go. And by the way, also people praying for their bets, which I might say I did thank God because He took care of me this year.
Our whole region was praying for the Eagles. So
yes, right. This particular year there was a particular reason to be at church.
So the first half it rolls out on Super Bowl Sunday,
right? And
then for more of the shore parishes, it kind of rolls out in May,
right around Memorial Day weekend. Okay, or the first weekend in June. Some parishes do either one of those 2 weekends.
Okay,
and the reason for that is
because they are located at the Jersey Shore.
Right.
Yes.
And a lot of people from other parts of New Jersey and Philadelphia have either shore homes or go semi-regularly to the shore. And actually, those are considered like their secondary parishes or their summer parishes.
Right.
But they're there all the time. They're as integrated there as the locals are.
Yep.
And yeah, so we want to make sure that they have an opportunity to support their parish just like the folks who live there year round.
And it does happen. I mean, I'm part of a shore parish in Ocean County, since that's where I live, and that's LBI. And we get our parishioners back in the summer, and we're so happy to see them.
Yeah.
It gets very quiet in the winter months because it comes just down to the island dwellers and the nearby. But when the summer gets back, we see the young people back, the youth, the young adults being back as readers, and everybody in the family. So definitely a really cool idea to be doing 2 rollouts. I always thought that was a really good idea when I came here.
Yeah,
So
and
you're
it's
saying your former employer doesn't do that?
No, unless it's changed.
Well,
but it's great to see the generosity too. I mean, a lot of those people that have a second home at the shore, they, as you mentioned, they'll support their parish at home, and also almost some evenly their parish at the shore.
Yeah.
yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, I know I talk about the shore parishes a lot. Our shore parishes are fantastic. I mean, you might think that, it's a sleepy thing in the wintertime, but actually our shore parishes are just as busy as our inland parishes during the summer. They have the same kind of youth ministries. They have the same kind of senior ministries. They have spiritual ministries. But naturally, some of those parishes will go from, a weekend mass total of a couple of thousand to a summer mass total of tens of thousands. So, yeah, we know it's coming.
Yeah, those masses can increase from like 2 a day to like 10 a day, depending on where you are.
3 of the largest churches in the diocese are all at the shore.
Yeah, I believe it.
2 in Wildwood, 1 in Sea Isle. Atlantic City is, of course, St. Nicholas of Tolentine is very large. But there's some of the massive churches down there. So if you're down the shore, there is no reason, by the way, for you to skip going to Mass on a Sunday or Saturday. So just remember that. Or
Plenty of masses.
Daily Mass. They have daily Masses, too. Matter of fact, I will be there. I will be vacationing in Ocean City the week of August 12th. And feel free to come see me at any Sunday Mass while I'm down there.
Will you be giving autographs?
I will absolutely give autographs. More importantly, I'll give selfies. Yeah, nobody wants autographs
that
anymore.
is your jam.
You want a selfie with me? You got it.
That's true.
And you know that.
Yeah.
What's her name? Colleen?
Yes, Colleen.
Yeah, she asked for a selfie. You better believe I give it to her.
That's true.
Respect the fans. That's what I say.
The fans.
Love the fans. So anyway, so that by the way, you actually skipped over one of our favorite parts of the South Jersey Catholic Ministries appeal.
Which
you
part was
oversee
that?
the fantastic video series that comes out every year. So that's
Yes.
We got to thank our friends at Syndicate Studios for
they're
helping us putting
amazing.
that together every year.
Yeah.
And this year they had to do a 2 version of it because we had a changeover occur in the midst of the campaign. So
Right.
the
So
original.
those shore parishes will see the intro and ending filmed by Bishop Williams.
Oh, there's 2 versions out there.
There are 2
Yes.
It's like 2 endings, like when you go to your movie theater.
There is.
First
That's
time, a little
it's like
trivia.
watching Clue.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for getting that reference.
That's right.
That just touched my heart so much just now. You have no idea.
I loved when Clue came out in '84 with alternate endings.
It's a little trivia. What year did the South Jersey Catholic Ministries appeal have 2 versions?
There you go.
Now you know. Everybody remember 2025.
That's right. Bingo card.
Yeah, exactly. But no, and we should also mention that it wasn't always called the South Jersey Catholic Ministries Appeal. It was
No.
called something else that I actually forget now.
For many years, the House of Charity,
House of Charity. That's right.
Bishop's annual appeal.
Right. It was a name with 2 names and often got confused with anything related to Catholic charities.
Yes.
So the
Did it
plan was-
really?
It did.
It did.
That was the reason it changed.
Yeah, we would get donations and then have to think we had, this $10,000 donation and then find out, I meant to give it to Catholic charities.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah. So it is now the South Jersey Catholic Ministries Appeal.
Smart.
Yes.
See, that's why I'm here in this diocese. It is such a smart diocese.
I know. I tell everybody that. We even talked about it with Bishop Williams when he came over. We reminded him that we are the best diocese in this region.
I apologize, everybody. Somehow there's a
don't.
little bit of Mike Walsh that
There's
got
that-
into my head there. We're the best.
Competition.
Exactly. I know. I get chastised for that all the time when I refer to the other dioceses as competition, but that's actually how I think of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want them to do well as well, but
course.
they don't. So
We're
we
all
do.
one big happy family.
Not in Mike Walsh's mind. We are like
Anyway.
siblings, and I'm the oldest. I beat up on everybody else. So
Accurate.
which is going to come back to haunt me, by the way, because I got to start planning the next Catholic. The next Catholic Media Conference, and it's going to be a regional conference. And I'm going to have to go to all these dioceses I keep dunking on and go, would you like to support and help us? They're all going to say no. Anyway, so you do a great job of interacting with all of the people in the diocese through a variety of methodologies, not just the video, which really is great. It's a great video everywhere. It tells us every year. It tells us a different story of a couple of different ministries that the South Jersey Ministries Appeal supports. But your letters to the donors, the annual report you put out the next year that sort of explains what was raised and where it went to.
Right.
You do a great job of communicating with people, and all of the columns and ads you put in the Catholic Star Herald that kind of keep track of what's going on as the initiative runs out, the
I was
campaign
just
runs
about
out.
to say that. Like, you don't have to wait till the end of the year to figure out what's going on, because you're putting an ad in like almost every issue to say, this is
Right.
where we are, this is where,
Yeah, about twice a month at least, so then people can see. And and I know because my mom's one of those donors, and she's like, I'm always checking St. Simon Stock. Did we reach goal yet? So I know that a lot of parishioners like to do that and compare
do.
themselves to other parishes. And
I do. For years, my parish was not great at this. My parish has gotten quite good at it in terms of their returns.
good.
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
And also the fact that like you're out there all the time, like when even we're covering events that development doesn't necessarily, you're not the main event. You're there. Like we see your face everywhere. So I think that goes a long way in the fact that everybody, the volunteers or the voluntold, they're out there a lot too, and we see them. And I think that you have. I mean, I know that we've done some articles about the volunteers who help, and the fact that you really work one-on-one with them to help give them the tools they need to be on the parish level to recruit.
And that's a real enjoyable part of the job, and everyone in my department is wonderful. They're all like so friendly and enjoy the phone calls that come in. They'll help volunteers anytime they have a question. Parish staff, donors, the other day I chatted for about half an hour with a donor. So
Nice.
Jen, most of the time, development departments come underneath of communications. Matter of fact, the first nonprofit I worked at, the development, the reason I know so much about development is because development was part of my department. I wasn't the boss. There was somebody above me.
Yeah.
I was a communications manager, and the development manager was my equal on the other side. But we worked hand in hand. So, if we wanted to talk to the temporal services secretariat, maybe we could take development and IT under communications. That might be
you're
nice.
poaching now.
I'll tell you
I
what.
poach everywhere.
If you guys want to come under us, I will make sure everybody in your department has a bathroom sign on your door, just like mine.
And you can take part in the lemon, whatever.
Oh, man.
The sourpuss
So many
competition.
benefits.
I mean, there's a lot of benefits. I mean, those are just the ones that we're talking about. The list goes on. It really does.
So you're welcome in my secretariat anytime, Stacy.
Thank you.
No problem.
So, in addition to South Jersey Catholic Ministries Appeal, what else is going on right now?
Well, it's almost time for the Spring Sprint for Scholarships. So that's another annual fundraiser for the South Jersey Scholarship Fund, which is a board of trustees that I'm a part of, and we fundraise for tuition assistance for Catholic education. And that's really important because there's a big gap between what families can pay and what tuition is, or what some families can pay. And we want to help close that gap.
So, for those who don't know what Spring Sprint is, like when does it start? How does it, roll out?
In the spring.
What a shocking development! Thanks,
In
Mike.
the winter, no. It's normally around May 1st. And that's also kind of a mini annual appeal. that we send letters, we do features in the Catholic Star Herald, ads, and help and social media posts, and ask the 12 board members to network with their friends and family, and raise money to help families attend Catholic school.
Yeah, and it's gotten some stellar donations. Matter of fact, one of the donations was so large, we use it as an example of the power of the Catholic Star Herald. Somebody saw an article about the spring sprint in the Catholic Star Herald and wrote a check for $75,000. So it's
and she's done that now 3 years in a row.
Has she? That's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
It is wonderful. I'm just thought you might be commenting on the power of the Catholic Star Herald.
Well, it's funny because we're talking about this because, like I mentioned earlier, at the Seder meal that I went to on Sunday, it was a interfaith Passover Seder meal. And anyway, there was about 60 or 70 people there, and they were from all over the diocese of all different faiths. And about 10 to 12 people stood up and said that, because we went, the rabbi was so cool, so nice. He handed around the microphone so everybody could introduce themselves and also what their house of worship was. And about 10 to 12 people stood up and said they read about it in the Catholic Star Herald, and that's why they were there. So much so that afterward, somebody came up to me afterward and said, how can we advertise in the Catholic Star Herald? Because what we're doing isn't working, and this obviously worked. So,
and
shout out.
Somebody not from our faith.
Is it somebody not from our faith?
Yeah.
So it works. We work. The Catholic Star Herald works.
The Catholic Star Herald works.
And the Catholic Star Herald was also just involved in something that I'm very involved with, the Catholic Business Network.
Holy moly, that's right. And
I
it
can't
was
believe
such a great turnout.
We could have done an entire episode just on that.
I actually thought about that, getting Neil on here to give us basically his presentation again, because it was so good.
And
how many people did we have?
40. It was our most well-attended event since we revamped again after the pandemic.
Wow.
So,
And we had people there from
other dioceses who wanted to learn how to do it correctly.
came to spy on the Catholic Star Herald.
We had 2 other Catholic publications show up. So I don't think they were spying.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's
actually, I did accuse them of spying.
harsh term.
Some of my old colleagues showed up, and I was like, "Are you here to spy? I don't care. I'm so happy to see you."
That's funny.
But it was good to see you.
See, that's the thing is, unlike while I'm competitive, I always share our secrets.
Yeah. Well, that's what when another fundraiser that we work on is called I Give Catholic, and we're already having meetings with the people that help organize that nationwide and sharing ideas, and they call it holy plagiarism. So,
Oh my goodness. Let's steal that, because that is outstanding.
I mean, it violates one of the major rules of journalism, but okay, we'll figure it. But it doesn't violate the rules of marketing, so
PR. There you go.
You don't have rules. That's a great phrase. I like that. But that, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I kind of wanted to touch on a lot of the things that anybody can be a part of. That I Give Catholic, we sort of run it through our diocese, but it's something that individual Catholic entities can take advantage of, correct? Yeah. So, I mean, lots of our parishes do it, lots of our ministries do it, and they do it under the banner of the diocese. But you can reach out to I Give Catholic, and it's a Giving Tuesday fundraising opportunity. And it kind of works as a clearinghouse of Catholic Giving Tuesday donor options that you can take advantage of. Yeah. So, I Give Catholic. Yeah. It's a blast. Matter of fact, and you've been the face of I Give Catholic locally many times, having done video updates through the day during Giving Tuesday.
I was just thinking about that a little while ago.
Last year, I learned to walk and talk at the same time. So.
Yes.
I remember the first year I was here and we did it together. I swear I had not laughed that hard in a long time. We had a blast.
Yeah, John and I laughed a lot too, but maybe for different reasons.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure it was. You showed up on a video. You kind of popped in on the side.
I had to replace you
right
once.
on this.
Oh, you did. It was on deadline. That's why.
you were working, and I had to replace. So I had to be the booth babe, and I would say that I did a great job.
I would go on the record and say you were it was like you weren't there. It's not like I was taking part in a sourpuss competition. I was working.
Sure. Claim whatever you want to claim. But that's another example of we try to make everything that we do kind of fun.
Right.
Fundraising is serious business, but it's not always just tactics and strategy and stealing ideas from other places, though that third one is really important. It's really, knowing your audience and knowing who's there and making sure that you're communicating in a way that's authentic. The videos that you produce, and you are the producer of it, by the way, in case you didn't realize it, Stacy, they go a long way, to the point that if a parish doesn't show it as part of their introduction to the South Jersey Catholic Ministries appeal, there is a level of I reach that I don't reach with it regarding anything else, because those videos are so important. The stories are so important, So, listen, pastors, play the video.
Right. It doesn't count just to hold it up
free.
and say, here it is.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Would you say it's free?
It is free to them.
Yes, free to them.
Free to them. But you're talking about volunteers again. I've been, I said this, I think, but been to the volunteer dinner to cover it and stuff. But
Really? I've never been invited.
Oh, I'm working it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never been invited to cover it.
To cover it?
Nope.
You want to cover it this year?
Nope.
But it's a great event because, like you said, it's not just people saying, okay, this is what you do, go ask for money or something. Like, people bring their own ideas and, into it as well. Like, it's a... If you're looking for something to volunteer for at your parish, consider that, because you can bring your own ideas into it to be more creative, to help your parish.
Yeah. Like, one volunteer told me we provide sample bulletin announcements or bulletin inserts, but one volunteer said, "Oh, I made my own," and so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the templates we provide are to make their lives a little easier. But if you can figure out a better way of doing it, or your audience better, what's going to resonate with them, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that night, the volunteer appreciation is so much fun, because you get to meet people that you talk to on the phone face to face, and you see their camaraderie between their teams, and it's just a lot of fun.
It really is. But it's a lot of fun. I know we're talking about the stuff like the fun of it and all that kind of stuff, but it's serious work. But it's stuff that we're committed to, and you've worked in the diocese now for 5 years?
Almost six. In July, it'll be 6 years. Yeah.
And you, not once have you ever walked into my office on a frustrating day and say, I think I'm going to quit.
No.
Congratulations. Not everybody can say that. So
That's true.
congratulations.
Particularly when they walk into my office.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But it really is. I mean, you have a great team. Your team deserves a ton of credit.
Yes.
The people that there are now, you got a couple of newbies in there, and they are some of the most joyful, dedicated people I've ever met in my entire life. The ones that have been there a long time, they know their stuff backwards and forwards.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin's been here 19 years.
Oh,
so she's been through so many. So anytime any one of us has a question about, something related to the annual appeal, she can give us the whole history behind it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just talking to her about that the other day. She had told me that's how long she's been here, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. And then we have then on the other end, we have a data coordinator who started in December, Terry, and she's just great, very tech, pulling all the numbers and reports we need. So sometimes, I'm not, I can do that, but I'm not.
That's not your skill set.
Techie brain. Yeah.
Right.
So she's wonderful, though. Always happy.
The wow is because that's institutional knowledge. And I love institutional knowledge. Like Pete Sanchez has been here, 16 years?
I think he's been here longer.
Institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have a lot of institutional knowledge. Yeah.
That's key to success.
Yeah.
It's part of the key to success. It's also bringing in new blood. And you do a good job of also bringing in good new blood, too.
Thank you.
You do. No, seriously. Your staff as currently put together, there is not a single person on it that irritates me.
And that's saying something.
That
I can't even say that about my own staff. Matter of fact, no, I mean, you can't say that about my own staff. Actually, I don't know if I can say that about my own staff, but no.
That's actually true too. But I work with development less, so maybe that's part of it too.
That could be it.
But no, I mean seriously, your folks are committed. I mean, the people you have now are genuinely fantastic. Like if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, God willing that doesn't happen. Number one, I think the department would continue on because your staff is so good. But I also think it'd be next to impossible to replace you because you've put together such a great staff, and that there's a lot to be said for that.
And they're so, not only do they do their work well, it's very meaningful for everyone in our department to be here because they're real strong in their faith, and you can really, tell. And if a donor, when a donor calls, they will share if they're going through a tough time, if someone passed away, if someone had surgery, and just everyone on my team is so compassionate and says, "Oh, we'll add you to our prayer list because we have a mass once a month. Tomorrow's our development mass, so we pray for all of our donors."
You have a mass once a month?
Yes.
When is the Catholic Star Herald going to start doing that?
I don't know, but I think I want to do that. How nice is that?
Listen, you can get as squeaky as you want, but I'm not going to be able to hear it.
Again, only dogs can hear my squeaky voice, and maybe my husband.
You probably do.
Maybe actually not.
But no, you should actually talk to the rector of the cathedral. That sounds like a great idea for the Catholic Star Herald to do.
So
do you guys participate in the mass when you have the mass for you?
I do. I'll be reading tomorrow.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I'm a little speechless because I'm very inspired.
Jealous? No. I mean, inspired.
Yes,
right.
Inspired.
No, that's great. It's those little kinds of things that her department does that really makes the difference. I mean, you think they would just be, listen, I've worked in this field for a long time. Most development people are like me. It's unusual to find a development person like Stacy and her crew that are just such wonderful, giving people. Listeners, I'm telling you, this is why these people are so special. I know I'm kind of going on and on with this, but
I wonder what favor ask is coming up.
I think you already accomplished it by coming on the show at the last minute. She had about a half an hour to prepare for this after the invitation.
Sounds great.
But it's, I'm saying all this stuff kind of to the point that Jen was making earlier. It was my irritation when I see people who don't go the extra mile, or businesses that don't go the extra mile, or staffs or dioceses or parishes or stuff like that don't go the extra mile. Yeah, I mean, it may require a little more effort, but the benefit down the line is so important, and you and your staff are a shining example of that. So, kudos across the board to the development department. Mm-hmm. And they will be, and I'm not saying that because I want people to give us money, because I'm assuming people outside of the diocese are going to hear this. Maybe, there'd be no reason to send us money, though feel free if you'd like to. You have so many things throughout the year. It would be easy to get overwhelmed and just, get buried in all of that work. And I know some days, I've been with you, some days it's a lot. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you guys do such a great job. And you're so present in the parishes, by the way. Like to Jen's point earlier, you really do make an effort to get out there. And I know you've had different staff people, tasked with different responsibilities over the years who, would do a lot of parish work. But that sort of one-on-one touch really goes a long way.
Yeah, we enjoy being out, and meeting people, the volunteers, pastors.
By the way, Stacy.
Time. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, but that's true. But I was going to give Stacy one other piece of credit.
Okay.
Stacy also, well, actually, she deserves several pieces of credit further. But Stacy was the producer, facilitator of all 5 of Bishop Williams's deanery events when he was introduced as the coadjutor. Yeah. And it was she and members of her staff going out and setting up these places and working with the deaneries at large to make sure that the people could go and meet Bishop Williams. And I covered them all. I saw all the work she did.
We covered them all.
No, one person was actually working. One person was talking to everybody. But it was impressive. Like on top of everything else, we put you in charge of events all the time.
Yes, but what was really impressive about that too, the 5 parishes that hosted, I mean, their staff were really on the ball, and one was nicer than the other, right? The first was at St. Peter's.
Ranking them, Stacey?
No, but St. Peter's Merchantville was the first, so and they set the bar really high. They had great food, decorations, everything. But I mean, every parish.
You know what? Let's call them out. So St. Peter's in Merchantville was Deanery 2. 1, 2, 1, 1 was Deanery 1. So it was all the East Camden County, West Camden County parishes. They did set the bar. We didn't know what we were doing. We'd never done one before. Basically, the Vicar General said, "Go out and do this," and you figured everything out. And you worked with the parishes. Mm-hmm. After that, we went down to Northfield, right? Was that
St. Gianna
Brettamola under the auspices of Father Manapella.
And they just reached goal this week.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
In
South
the
Jersey Catholic Ministries?
2025, yes.
Oh,
they were
God bless
second, and St. Andrew the Apostle was the first to reach
No.
goal.
Nice.
No surprise there. But they unveiled the largest welcome sign I've ever seen in my entire life for Bishop Williams. So huge, I had to take a picture of it. It took up the entire back wall of the parish center.
It looked like one of those banners that would go across the street for a parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it would say 2-time Super Bowl champions across the Lincoln Financial Field for the Eagles. I mean, it was that big.
Or you could have drug it behind one of those planes when
Yes.
they fly over the beach.
Absolutely could have been a banner plane banner. Absolutely could. But they did. But they couldn't have been more welcoming. It was another great event. They had a ton of people show up. Let's also give a shout out to St. Andrew, the Apostle in Gibbsboro, under Monsignor Marucci, who had another great turnout. He had great food. These also all included lovely masses and prayer services and opportunities to meet with the priests, just between the priest and the bishop. So that was really nice. Then
I got to give a shout out to also their business administrator at the time, Debbie, because I saw her in the parking lot, and I pull into this parking lot at St. Andrews, and there's a gigantic picture of Bishop Williams. I think it's on the bell tower. I think it's still there. But I mean, you know how big that has to be seen and like really be seen from the parking lot. And I just kind of point at it, and she's got like the biggest smile. She's like, "I know, it's great, right?" And I was like, "That is something." She's like, she worked so hard on that. So
that is that was another example of the greatness of our folks.
Yep.
Then I think it was Incarnation Parish had Deanery 3. That was a lot of Gloucester County and Salem County.
And that was more desserts than...
I've never seen that many desserts.
Yeah.
which one was that?
That was at Incarnation Parish. That was the dean
Oh,
there
that
was
was a lot
Father
of
Joe
desserts.
Byerly. Yeah.
That was a lot of desserts.
That
I think
was-
Mike got a goodie bag that night.
I did get a goodie bag, and that was I got taken care of at that one.
That was
that was my home
that was
deanery. They took care of
talking
me.
about my stuff. That was Leslie packaged that for you and made sure that you had. Yes.
Heck yeah, Leslie.
Leslie takes care of me. She is very sweet. She knows I do not eat at events, and she has either forced me to sit down and eat, or she has packaged stuff up for me so that I will not die. And that was very sweet of her.
Yep.
And then the shore we went to St. Brendan the Navigator
Yes.
in Avalon,
Yep.
Stone Harbor, for Deanery 4, I believe, or 5. I always get them confused. I thought it might have been Deanery 5. That one was fantastic. Big kudos to
That was a big turnout.
Father Gormley. Yeah, we had a great turnout.
Yeah,
that was
it was a great
really our
turnout.
only true shore event, and we had people coming from all the shore towns for that. That was a great mass too. That's a nice little church. I like that church a lot. That was actually the only one. That was the first time I almost passed out. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I had it was the end of the night, and I got lightheaded all of a sudden. I had an hour drive back.
He turned so pale.
Yeah, I
Oh
did.
my
It was really
goodness.
weird. Yeah, I looked into it later. Apparently, I had had a lot of caffeine and not a lot of water, and I hadn't eaten anything, and I'd been working really hard.
See, that's why you have to eat at those events.
I know. I did learn my lesson. I am trying to get a little bit better at snacking at these things, at least. And then I feel like we're missing one.
No. 1,
We got 'em all?
2, 3, 4.
And Northfield was 4, so yeah, I guess that was all of them. Yeah.
I'm counting in my mind. Talk amongst yourselves.
No, we did. We nailed them all. That
No,
was all of 'em.
we mentioned all of
I
them.
think we did. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the parish, to your point, the parishes deserve a lot of credit for stepping up and really making events like this work. So
Definitely.
this is sometimes I fear, but sometimes it can seem like everything's a lot of work, right? And it's easy to sort of get down. But when you actually step back and think about it, man, there's a lot of goodness around us. There's a lot of good people, a lot of people working hard for all the right reasons. Nobody does it for the money. I haven't.
we get paid for this? Now I find out.
I haven't seen a Mercedes SLS out there anywhere. It's in our parking lots. It's people doing it for all the right reasons, but more importantly, being very successful at it. Because there's a lot of try-harders out there, but then try-harding it and having the professionalism to make these things work, it's something special. And the development department of the Diocese of Camden deserves a lot of credit for their professionalism and the good work that they do.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
And you help us really get the word out And, anytime I have a crazy idea, like, okay, can you get this out on social media, or will you send this out, constant contact? So,
Now, unrelated to all of that and the development department, I have a follow-up question. This one's a little personal.
Okay.
My son attends Paul VI High School, and every year I get invited to this event. And I know you
Of course, I'm a fan as an alum, and all three of my children attended.
So they have a development event, a financial development fundraising event every year that I've never attended. And I want to know, should I attend? Not for the benefit of fundraising. I'm happy to help with fundraising, but should I attend? And if I were to attend, how should I attend? Should I attend individually, as a family, as a group? So they have something called the Paul VI Pawction.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. What is the Pawction?
It's fun.
Okay, there we go.
Good food, but I tell you, when my kids were there for a couple of years, I was on the decorating committee, which they just go all out. Mm. The gym, it's just transformed, and this year the theme is Kentucky Derby, I think.
Mm.
So
I think it's the same. I think it's the same day as a Kentucky
it is.
Derby.
Yeah.
If you don't go, can I go?
So unfortunately, I'll be out of town. So yeah, but it's such a fun event, and then there's items to bid on, and also just fun socializing with everyone, and the food they have, like I said, is tremendous.
Did you attend last year? Did you help work with it last year? Because I'm curious what the Kentucky Derby.
I think I had a first communion. That's the problem. Well, not the problem, but it's the first weekend in May. The event every year.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so that's when, yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So now here's the next question: is it something that we should go individually, family, group, a table of friends?
Table of friends is awesome.
Like, is that really the best way to go? Sort of like to bring your crew with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Would you say that of most fundraising events?
I think so. And one we didn't mention today is the Catholic Charities Annual Dinner that the Development Office helps organize, and that a lot of parishes will come together as tables, or schools, and that way, it's a lot of fun. Or a sponsor will bring a whole table of their friends or employees, and everyone really just has a lot of fun sitting around having dinner together. So. And the wine, of course.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. That's
or actually, it's more than, right? The resorts, it's open bar, so any drink you want.
And appetizers. Yeah. You have good appetizers.
Good appetizers.
Not that I've ever eaten them. I'm always working it.
I didn't bring up the Catholic Charities Annual Dinner because we have some big announcements coming down the road for that. I don't want to steal their sunshine. We're going to have their executive director Dr. Maria Elena Hallian on in a couple of weeks, probably towards the end of May, I would think, probably to unload our huge announcement coming up for the 2025 version of the thing, which Jen may end up getting a lot of work out of when that time comes. But
what?
Oh yeah, we're gonna need some help on this particular. You have a very specific set of skill sets that we're gonna rely on for.
Are you saying I have a very particular set of skills?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Basically, you're Liam Neeson.
Yes.
But we're gonna need somebody with your knowledge base to help out with some of this stuff. But it's it's exciting. So that's a fun one too. Yeah. We also, by the way, for anyone who's listening who'd like to give us some feedback, we're also looking for great places in southern New Jersey to host events. Mm-hmm. If you know of a great place that can host between 400 and 500 people, we're looking for location. I'm not saying any of our places are going to move, but we're always looking for new ones. And a lot of places we've looked at least recently we're looking for places that aren't necessarily catering halls. We're looking for places that are kind of unique, that can hold a lot of people, might have just be kind of a cool place to go to sort of add a certain level of ambiance to a lot of the things we do. And so if you have ideas for us, feel free to reach out to talkingcatholic@camdendiocese.org and give us some suggestions. Here's the deal, we can't cross the Delaware, so Philadelphia's out because we got to keep within the confines of South Jersey, and we probably can't leak into the Diocese of Trenton either, so anything over Camden Catholic or Camden County or Atlantic County is probably out. But if in the true nature of South Jersey, let us know. Or for that matter, just let Stacy know. Stacy.Napolitano@CamdenDiocese.org. Or Leslie Visco. Leslie.Visco@CamdenDiocese.org. I'm sure she'll be thrilled I put out her email.
I know. Yay, Leslie.
But
She'll get a bunch of spam.
sorry, Leslie. But seriously, if you have tips for us, we would really appreciate that. That'd be great because we've been looking around and we found a couple of decent places, but nothing that's really like blew us away yet. So keep an eye out there for us. We believe in the wisdom of others, so let us know what you see out there. Mm-hmm. Well, Stacy, thank you very, very much for coming on the podcast, particularly on short notice, and letting us extol the virtues of your department.
Oh, always happy to be a guest.
Thanks a lot. And to everybody else, if you'd like to donate to the South Jersey Catholic Ministries Appeal, by all means, go to CamdenDiocese.org/SJCMA, and you can donate through their online portal. Otherwise, go through your parish. All right, everybody. Talk to you later.